Hello, world. Welcome back to Let's Talk Barca. This is episode 16, the day after El Clasico. Now, this is my review of El Clasico. I had to take some time. Like I said, when it's a big game, I don't like to do reviews in the emotion. I like to take some time, rewatch the game, think about it, see what really happened in the game. And when I look back at the game, actually, to be honest with you guys, I think that Barcelona played well. Yeah, I know that's a shocker, but we dominated play. We had the opportunity for our right winger to score. Now, our right winger didn't score, and that kind of changed the game. Now, if we would have taken that one goal lead, that would have relieved a lot of the pressure on the team. That would have settled a lot of nerves and allowed us to settle into our play, right? So that really was a big thing. Now, I'm not upset at Dest. Actually, I'm very proud of Dest. I thought Dest played well, especially when he went back into the right back position. He settled Vinicius very well, so he did his job as a right back. And him getting up in that opportunity, I mean, I think that's actually good for him in the long run. So this is why, because we're assessing this team and this team is so young, we can't be so in the moment, because the team is young. So that's playing as a ringer in this big game and having a chance like this. It gave him an opportunity to miss, and he's got to go back and practice, have that mindset again, and keep practicing and finishing it in his mind and finishing it in his mind and finishing it in his mind. And then when he's playing wing back and he comes up into that same position for the next big game when the trophy's on the line, he'll hit it because he's only 20 years old, guys. So like these types of things I'm not so worried about. So I appreciate that. And then when I look at it and say, well, if we would have had our team, that should be Dembele there. And if Dembele's coming in and Dembele gets that, I will put, I hope that Dembele would be able to finish. Now, he's missed a lot of easy chances like that before, but he's a lot more natural finisher than Dest, and he's had a lot more practice, and he's had a lot more disappointment, and he's, I think, a little bit more ready to take the moment. So if and Dembele had been playing, that would have been there for him as well. So with Dembele coming back now, he's in training. He's looking good. So, just get him to sign the long-term deal, get him to commit, and then get to see Memphis Depay, Fati, and Dembele playing, where they can play all anywhere on the field. They can all interchange. We'll get a chance to see Dembele on the right a lot, maybe down the middle some, maybe on the left some, and then we'll get to see Fati hopefully learn some of the middle, some of the right as well. It'd be good for Fati to play on all sides of the pitch as well. So this would be a great opportunity for us, and this is where we'll get to really judge Koeman. I mean, this is where we'll judge Koeman. And the reason I'll go into that is because, okay, like I said to you before with the Gangsta Gavi tape, and Gavi is still young. He's 17 years old. So you can't really expect him to go against a player like Modric and Kroos and Casemiro and think he's just going to go ahead and dominate them. He's going to take his lumps. There's nothing wrong with a 17-year-old taking his lumps against some of the greatest midfielders to ever play the game. So I'm not really disappointed in Gavi at all. He didn't have the greatest game, but I didn't think so. I knew this would happen with Gavi. So I wasn't really disappointed with him. I'm really happy with Busquets. Once again, we showed that if we press high, Busquets, once again, he does win the ball back. He is very effective. He does do his thing, and he does not look quote unquote slow. He does look slow once we don't press high and we get caught in transition. We don't win the ball back right away. Then if he's chasing, Busquets is slow. Like a crawling baby will pass Busquets. We know that, right? So that's when Busquets is low, is when we don't trap initially and we don't get that high press going. So, we have to work on that. We have to get the guys in position to work that. So that's where we know where the problem is when Busquets is looking slow. So let's just get rid of that whole Busquets is old and slow thing. Busquets is Busquets. He's always been the same. We have to be a high pressing team for him to be effective. If not, then there's no purpose for him being on the pitch, right? Okay, so next. Eric Garcia. I thought Eric Garcia actually played very well. I thought he had a very good game. Now, he was responsible for being on the wrong side of the second goal. But I'm gonna give that away because my big disappointment really was was really Coutinho, because he had a chance to score that goal on the kick there, and he whiffed it. And if he had scored that, then there wouldn't have been an opportunity. And that always happens when you have an opportunity to score. The team always comes right back and scores, right? So whenever you have a great opportunity like that to score, they almost always come back to score, and they did it. And I knew that was going to happen as soon as I saw it, and I saw PK slapping on the floor. I saw Coutinho walking. I saw Memphis Depay walking, and everybody in Real Madrid was on the break. And I said, "Oh no, we're in trouble. They're gonna score, right?" So, and they did. So that happens. We should have scored, Coutinho. But I don't really blame Garcia. I thought he played well. I thought he looked good. So I'd like to see Garcia to continue that along with Arujo when he gets back, so that we can finally see what we have there. Now I still think that our best defensive pair would be Umtiti and Arujo for now. But like I said, I do admit that Umtiti is made of glass, but I think he's a better defensive partner because he's being left-footed. He's strong and fast. He's good with the ball, likes to move the ball forward as well. And then him and Arujo would make a very fast, dominant, strong defensive pairing. And then Eric Garcia could fit in either one. So if Umtiti does get injured, then we could go straight into Eric Garcia and then go from there, right? But that's my pick. But I'm okay with Garcia. He's still young. He's still learning. But he did look a lot better. Hopefully he'll continue that forward. So let's go into Mengueza. Like, I didn't really think Mengueza had that bad of a game. I thought he got a couple of bad breaks. I don't think Vinicius ran by him. I think there was a couple of times where the ball just spun properly for him. Now, if Vinicius had put the spin on the ball like that, then hey, guess what? Then Vinicius is brilliant. Now, do I think he had to put that spin on the ball so he got those kind of bros and got lucky like that? No, because there's a few times where Mengueza got right in there. He won the ball. But the ball just spun well to Vinicius. But it wasn't about him being outrun or just being out dazzled. There was a couple of times where he just seemed to get the run of the ball. So I'm not really disappointed with Mengueza. I don't think that Mengueza was the real problem in the team, but he did what he normally does. So I'm not really disappointed with him. Keep his head up and continue to play. Jordi Alba on the other side there, I thought he played well. He did his thing. Ter Stegen, he did his thing as well, but I'm not overly impressed with Ter Stegen. I still think we need more of a sweeper keeper. I really, really want to see Andre Onana come back. I think he would be the perfect backup, and maybe really push Ter Stegen for first choice keeper, and a lot more of a sweeper keeper, true Barca DNA all the way through and through. He raised in the Barca system, then he left and went to Ajax, which is the Barca system as well. So we can't get any goalkeeper any more Barca DNA than Andre Onana. So I really hope that Andre Onana comes in and we can get a deal done for him in the second half, and we can get him in there to really put a test down and to take a command of our defense. Because I think that's where a lot of people think our defense is bad because the players. But I think that we're missing. I don't think Ter Stegen is really a vocal leader out there that's seeing things that the other players aren't seeing and be able to command them into positions to, so I don't think he's really doing that. And I think that we need a goalkeeper that can do that. And I think Onana has that ability to do that. And I like him, and then we go from there. All right. And then let's get into the midfield now. So as we get into the midfield, I'm going to say to you, De Jong. Well, De Jong. I've been saying this for the last few games. I've been very disappointed that since the break, from before the break, the international break. Okay, so I've been saying this since the beginning of the international break there, that I thought that De Jong has really not been performing well. I don't really remember De Jong doing much. I've been looking for his runs, but they haven't really been there. If you listen to my last video, I said I was going to look specifically for De Jong to see if he was making a lot of good runs and he was being missed. But he really wasn't making too many good runs that were being missed. He was just really standing in the park. Now, they're saying that he's been injured. Maybe that's probably part of the problem. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, because we do need De Jong, but we do need him to step up. I think he's been a very big liability in our midfield, and he hasn't really produced much offensively or defensively that we could say is deserving of De Jong. I mean, he's a much better player than he's shown he's been for Barcelona. So, that's a big thing for us. So maybe this little injury, maybe he could take 1-2 weeks off. That hopefully Pedro can come back. This will give Nico some time to play. This will give Ricky Puig some time to play. Hopefully this will give other players some minutes. Hopefully, Gavi will get some more minutes. We can get get Pedri back and get these guys minutes in midfield and see what they can do. And then the ones that don't produce, we can know, okay, you know what, they just can't produce, and we move on. But let's hopefully now this will give, like I said, other guys an opportunity. We can get to see Nico a little more. Maybe Nico can step up and claim that spot. Maybe Pedri can come in and take that spot and make De Jong fight for his spot back. I'm down for that. Like, I'm down for De Jong having to fight for his spot back. If Pedri and Gavi can come in there and be like the future of Spain and say, hey, we're not giving up this spot. We're going to control this midfield going forward. You never know. And then De Jong has to come back as center back or something. So who knows? Let's see what happens. But let's see what happens with that. And like I said, with Fati, and I didn't think that Fati was ever going to play more than 60 minutes, to be honest with you guys. I thought he played a lot more than what he should have. We knew that Fati couldn't play too many games in a row, and we know he still can't play too many games in a row. I think now they're just going to try to get him 60 for next week. He'd probably get 60 or a full 90, and then give him another game of 60. So, they're going to like I said, they're going to slowly work Fati in because, we can't rush him back into minutes. And that's, and this is also hurting us as a team. Like, we're losing the talent of Fati because we can't rush him back, so we scored a late goal there, but if we had Fati on the pitch, we might have been able to score 2 with Aguero on the pitch as well, because that's additional talent. Fati, Memphis Depay, Aguero, that's a lot of talent. Coutinho, that's a lot of offensive talent. The problem is none of them are really healthy. We can't play Aguero 45 minutes yet. Maybe in the next game he could play 45 minutes because he got, I think a good 25 minutes in. So maybe he can get 30, 45 minutes in next game. But he's not ready to go with 60 minutes yet. Coutinho might be ready to do 60 minutes now. If you look, Coutinho's got 45 minutes for the last 2 games. But he's still fading, So Coutinho still doesn't look like he's up to it. None of those guys look like they're fully up to it, to the pressing and everything that we have to do. They don't look like they're up to it to do it for 45 minutes. Not Coutinho, not Aguero. Fati, we're still young. We don't need to rush him. We don't want to hurt him back. We got to get Memphis Depay a rest too, because he's been playing a lot of games, so we got to be careful with him. But our only real options is Luke De Jong. This is when we really miss Braithwaite. But now that Dembele's coming back, we can get Dembele in. Maybe get them, so Dembele will probably come in for the next game. He'll probably get, 30 minutes or so because you can get a full week of practice. So maybe 15 to 30 minutes in his first game back, and then go from there and see what happens. And him getting more minutes and Aguero getting minutes and Fati getting minutes means that maybe Memphis Depay can get a couple quick breaks so he doesn't get injured, and we'll see. Now, as it comes to Koeman, like, I thought he put them in positions, and I thought that we had chances to win. The counterattack, let's face it, they scored the goal on the counterattack with their center back, a center back that we were supposed to have signed. He was supposed to be our left-sided center back. So that goal was really just a difference in skill. The goal that broke us was a goal that Alaba scored, which is a difference in skill, which is a difference in the player that we tried to sign, but they were able to sign. That's what that game boiled down to. And then the second goal for them and our last goal, those two cancel out. But the real winner was Alba in a close game, tied. Dest had a chance first, but failed, right? But then Alba's goal was really, the two teams were very evenly matched. He saw an opportunity, and he took it. And he didn't stop his run, and he had the skill set to finish us off with a great finish. That's nothing but a great player. I hate him for it. He should have been a Barcelona player. But, it's a great finish. And now I'll hate him even more. So, F Alaba, Dave. F Alaba. So, So I'll thank everybody for coming out and like and subscribe. And if for those who know, you know. And if you don't know, you just don't know.